Christ, Isupk headquarters Sabbath service has officially begun. Shofar, which means horn. Yayon, which means wine. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. Shofar again. Right? We are going to recite the prayers in the Hebrew, in the English. Imagine, which means to stand. Saw upon your hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakofka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawawafinawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawafinawa, Wala'a, Tabayaynawa, Banasaya 1, above, Hawashaynawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Lakab, Hamalakwaf, Wa'ala, Wa'ataparav, La'ai Aman, in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Baba Kasha, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Narapa'ah, Kal Makala, Wakal Manawa, Hakak, Lata'ah, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakwayim, Hamathyam, Hakak, Arakaraf, Hatama'ala, Lagawashan, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahoyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ain, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Ra'aratazah, Ayatan, Lamawat, Wagorka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hanala'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Rai, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaafka, Wabawaaka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ain Iwalam, in the English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, al damayalaka, al takarash, wa al tashakwat, al kayahana, awayabyaka, Yahama Yawan, wa mashanayaka, nasha'awa, wa ash, almaka, Ya'ira Yamwa, Sawa, Wayataya Aitazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amawa, Lakawa, Wanakakida, Magoya, Wala'ah, Yasakar, Shom Yasharala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, La, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Rara'ah, Yakawafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashamaya Yam, Mawa'aba, Wahagoyam, Gabor, Wa'imawan, Wa'imalak, Palashah, Ayashabia, Shazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawat, Imam, Hayawa, Zawawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha Laham, Hamadian, Hasayasara'ah, Hayabia, Banakar, Payashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Kairab, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakata Zalmanai, Kal Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, La Nawah, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Taba'ira Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Talaha, Haryam, Kantaradatma, Basairaka, Wabasawapaka, Tabahalam, Mala'ah, Panyaham, Kualawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayaba'awa, Aya'ai, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Arthur, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al-Yawan, Al-Kaha Arataza. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thy enemies make it to mold, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against our people, and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabor, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asar also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zahab, yea, all their princes, as Zabah and as Salmuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame set up the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. I should be blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahawashah. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Matazabya. Alawak Yahana. Ha Alawakyam. Ha Saranyam. Ha Kwatazayanyam. Ha Kayayanyam. Wa Ha Aquathyam. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Tawada Aman in the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushua. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yohanan. The generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wayasharala, Wahabayah, Saparyam, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magan, Hagan, Yasharala, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect Israel in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. I should be curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now. Right now, send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refused to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Kamikaze, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, Nassau Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of our people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro to the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh, thank you always, so be it. Saw, which means to turn. Shabia, you seated. Last week we completed 2 Chronicles. Completed 2 Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 23 is where we left off at, and today we starting in a new book, which is the book of Ezra chapter 1. Starting at Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. Make sure you turn your sword in the Hebrew so you could read along. All right, Ezra 1 and 1 in the Hebrew. Wabah Shanaf, Akaf, Lakaras, Malak, Parash, Lakalawaf, Dabal, Yahweh, Mapiyah, Yara Maya, Ha'ai, Yal, Yahweh, Af, Rarak, Kawash, Malak, Paras, Wayai, Bal, Kwawal, Bakal, Malakawafwa, Wagam, Bama, Kathab, La Amar, verse 2, Kaha, Amar, Karash, Malak, Paras, Kal, Mama Lakawaf, Mama Lakwaf, Ha'aratazar, Nathan, Laya, Yahweh, Alahaya, Hasha Mayam, Waha Wa'a, Pakwad, Ailia, Labanawaf, Lawaf, Bayaf, Bayara Shalom, Ashar, Ba Yahawada, verse 3, Maya, Bakam, Makal, Aimawa, Yahaya, Alahayawa, Aimawa, Waya'al, Laya Rashalam, Ashar, Bayahawada, Wayaban, Af, Mayaf,
Yahweh, Alahaya, Yasharala, Hawa'a, Ha'alahayam, Ashar, Bayarashalam, verse 4, Wakal, Hana Sha'al, Makal, Hamakwa Mawaf, Ashar, Hawa'a, Gal, Sham, Yana Sha'awa Hawa, Anashaya, Makwa Mawa, Bakasa, Waba Zahab, Wabara Kawash, Waba Bahama, Ain, Hana Daba, Labayaf, Ha'alahayam, Ashar, Bayarashalam, verse 5, Waya Kwawamawa, Ra Ashia, Kantoa, Ha'a Bawaf, La Yahawada, Wa Banyamyam, Waha Kahanyam, Waha Loyam, Lakal, Ha'ayya, Ha'alahayam, Af, Wa Rawakwa, La'ai Lawaf, Laba Nawaf, Af, Bayaf, Yahweh, Ashar, Bayarashalam, verse 6, Wakal, Sabah Yabath Yaham, Kazakwa, Dayaham, Bayadyam, Bakalya, Kasap, Bazahab, Bara Kawash, Waba Bahamaha, Waba Magad, Nawaf, Labad, Al Kal, Hatha Nadab, verse 7, Wahamalak, Kawarash, Kalrash, Hawa Tazaya, Af, Kalya, Bayath, Yahweh, Ashar, Hawa Tazaya, Nabawa, Kada, Natazar, Maya Ra, Washalom, Waya Wayafnam, Babayath, Alahayawa, verse 7. 7 is the last verse. We're picking it up at Ezra 1 and 1 in the Hebrew, in the English. Now, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Most High by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, verse 2, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Most High power of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he hath charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Verse 3, Who is there among you of all his people? His power be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Most High power of Israel. He is the power which is in Jerusalem. Verse 4, And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourned, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods and with beasts, beside the freewill offering for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. All right, what's happening here is that at this point, Nebuchadnezzar, right, which is the king of Babylon, he had overpowered Jerusalem, all right, and he destroyed the temple of the Most High. Now, there's many kings that came after Nebuchadnezzar, and now we're talking about King Cyrus. And when King Cyrus was ruling over the children of Israel, he allowed um, the Most High really spared up the spirit. Go ahead.
So you said, what was the chapter?
Ezra. We in Ezra 1.
Ezra 1.
Okay. Right? So, like he says, he said the Most High, what's the exact word he used? The word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus. So basically, that was the Lord's doing that caused Cyrus to make a decree to allow for Israel to basically rebuild the temple. All right, verse 5. Then rose up the chief of the fathers, because at this point our temple was destroyed, and Nebuchadnezzar had destroyed the temple and everything of value that the Levites at the time used for the service of the Most High. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, with all them whose spirit God had raised to go up to build the house of the Most High, which is in Jerusalem. Verse 6. And all they that were about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver, with golds, with goods, and with beasts, and with precious things, beside all that was willingly offered. Verse 7. Also Cyrus the king brought forth the vessels of the house of the Most High, with which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem. So Nebuchadnezzar, he had brought these things out of Jerusalem, because what happened is what heathens do when they conquer our land. This is why today you gotta go to England to see certain things that the native Indians had over here in America. You gotta go to different parts of the world to see our artifacts, because that's what the heathens do. But King Cyrus, like it says here, the king brought forth the vessels of the house of the Most High, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and had put them in the house of his gods. Even those did Cyrus, king of Persia. That's verse 8. We begin verse 8 from the Hebrew, then we get it back in the English. All right. Ezra, the first chapter, chapter 8. So like chapter 1, verse 8. Wayawa Tazayam Karash Malak Parsa Al Yad Matharadaf Haga Zabar Waya Sapam Waya Saparam Lasha Shabbatazar Hana Shaya La Yahawada. Verse 9. Wa Alaha Masaparam Agara Talia Zahab Shalashim Agara Talia Kasat Alak Makalakyam Kasha Aiha Wa'ai Sharyam. Verse 10. Kaparya Zahab Shalashim Kaparia, Kasap, Mashanium, Arabai, Ma'awath, Wa'ai Shara, Kalium, Akariyum, Alak 11, Kalium, Lazahab, Wala Kasat, Kamashaf, Alakium, Wa'arabai, Ma'awath, Hakal, Ha'ilaha, Shasha, Bak, Tazal, Ain, Ha'ilawath, Haga, Wala, Mababal, Layarashalam, chapter 2, verse 1. Wa alaha banya hamadayani hamadayana ha'ai layam mashabia hagawala ashar hagala malak babal la babal waya shawaba wayashab waya shawabwa la yarashalam wa yahawada ayash la ai yawa verse 2 ashar ba'awa aim zara babal ya shawai nakamaya sharayaha ra'ai layaha maradakia balashan masapal ba gawaya Rakawam Ba'ainaha Masapal Anashia Ain Yasharala verse 3 Banya Paraish Alapium Ma'aha Shaba'ayam Washaniam verse 4 verse 3 is the last verse. Ezra, the book of Ezra, chapter 1, verse 8. Even those did Cyrus, king of Persia, bring forth by the hand of Mithridath, the treasurer, and numbered them unto Sheshbazzar, the prince of Judah. Verse 9. And this is the number of them: 30 chargers of gold, 1,000 chargers of silver, 29 knives, 30, verse 10, 30 basons of gold, silver basons of a second sort, 410, and other vessels of 1,000, verse 11. And the vessels of gold and of silver were 5,400. All these did Sheshbazzar bring up with them of the captivity that were brought up from Babylon unto Jerusalem. Chapter 2. Now these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those which had been carried away. One Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away unto Babylon and came again unto Jerusalem and Judah, everyone unto his city. So these are the children of the slaves. Children of those that were kept captive, just like today. We are children of those slaves that were captives, to the pilgrims, to the Frenchmen under King Henry, right? We are the children of these slaves, the children of these Israelites. All right. Verse 2, chapter 2, verse 2, which came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Reeliah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mizpah, Bigvai, Rehum, Baana, the number of the men of the people of Israel. Verse 3. The children of Parash, 2,172. All right, so now it's about to give us all the numbers of the children of that time. All right, we're going in verse 4 in the Hebrew. We're in Ezra, the 2nd chapter, verse 4. Banya, Shapathia, Shalash, Ma'awath, Shaba'ayam, Washanyam, verse 5. Banya, Arak, Shabai, Ma'awath, Kama Shah, Washa Ba'ayam, verse 6. Banya, Hakath, Mawa'aba, Labanya, Yashawai, Yawa'ab, Alapium, Shamana, Ma'awath, Washanyam, Aisha, verse 7. Banya, Ayalam, Alap, Ma'athium, Kamashium, Rabai, verse 8. Banya, Zatha, Tashai, Ma'awath, Ba'ayam, Waka, Masha, verse 9. Banya, Zakaya, Shabai, Ma'awath, Washashium, verse 10. Banya, Shasha, Ma'awath, Ba'ayam, Washanyam, verse 11. Banya, verse 10. 4 to 10. The children, verse 4, the children of Zephaniah, 372. The children of Arah, 775. The children of Pahath Moab, the children of Jeshua and Joab, 2,812. The children of Elam, 1,254. All right, when you see these names, do not get confused with the heathen, because when you remember the children of Israel, right? When we talk about Loya, we talk about Aporium, we talk about Yashakar. Those were names of actual sons of Jacob's. Those were just names, and they became tribes. The same with Mawa'aba, the same with Esau and Elam. These were names of individuals who became the father of a whole nation, right? So in the nation of Israel, you might see an Israelite that have a name of a so-called heathen. That does not mean we're talking about those heathen. We're talking just as a name of an individual, because those names are how these nations came about, from specific sons. All right, so let's not get it confused when we see the children of Elam thinking about the East India. All right, verse 8, the children of Zatu, 945. Verse 9, the children of Zakai, 703 score. Verse 10, the children of Bani, 642. Picking up at verse 11 in the Hebrew. Banya, Babaya, Shasha, Ma'awaf, Ishariam, Washala Shah, verse 12, Bunya, Izagad, Alap, Ma'athiam, Ishariam, Washan, Washaniam, verse 13, Bunya, Ada, Ada Nayakwam, Shasha, Ma'awaf, Shashayam, Shasha, verse 14, Bunya, Bagoya, Alapium, Kamashiam, Washasha, verse 15, Bunya, Idayan, Arabai, Ma'awaf, Kamashiam, Wa'ara Ba'ai, verse 16, Bunya, Atha, Laya, Kaza, Kwayaha, Tasha'ayam, Washa Mana, verse 17, Bunya, Batazaya, Shalash, the water, Ma'awaf, Shariam, Washa Lasha. Right. Verse 11, the children of Bebai, 623, verse 12. The children of Asgad, 1,222. The children of Adonikam, 666. The children of Bigvai, 2,066. The children of Adin, 454. The children of Ather of Hezekiah, 98. The children of Bazai, 323. The children of Jorah, 112. The children of Ashon, 223. The children of Gabal, which is the last verse?
Verse 17, sir.
17. Oh. I went all the way to 19. All right, so we're picking it up at 18 in the Hebrew. All right, so not second Ezra. The book of Ezra, the second chapter, is giving us a lot of names because it's giving us what? It's giving us the children, like we read earlier, of the people that went captive under Nebuchadnezzar. So he's giving you the pedigree. He's telling you the children of who had how many children, right? It's like today, our oppressors, they have a record, right? They have a record of all the birth certificates. All the birth certificates that they have now, they could tell you, well, the slave that they owned, go ahead, brother.
So, if I may, it was always the same, because I was part of the black community. Say one thing about, you know what I'm saying, one good thing about the Europe, you know what I'm saying, about the European, that they always want to make records. They always have records for like everything.
Right.
So that's what, and you're right about that. About, you know what I'm saying, our oppressor always have like the birth certificate. They always want to make records.
Right. The birth certificate is really is to enslave us. But when you look at, that is something they got from the Bible, because the Bible tells you put everything down, write everything down on paper, make a record. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so like I was saying, in the book of Ezra, the second chapter, you're gonna see a lot of names, a lot of sons of this, children of that, and it's giving you the numbers that each of these men, the numbers of children that they had, right? Going generation from the Babylonian captivity. Now we are in verse, you say 17 was the last verse, right? All right, we're picking it up at verse 18. We're in the book of Ezra, chapter 2, verse 18 in the Hebrew. Banya, Yawa Ra'ah, Ma'aha, Washanyam, Aisha, 19, Banya, Kasham, Ma'athium, Aisharium, Washalasha, 20 Bunya, Gabal, Tasha'ayim, Waka Masha, 21 Bunya, Bayath, Lakam, Ma'aha, Aisharium, Washalasha, 22, Anashia, Nathapa, Nathapaa, Kamashayim, Washasha, 23, Anashia, Aina Thawath, Maha'a, Aisharium, Washamnaha, 24, Banya,
That's right.
Zamawaf, Ara Ba'ayim, Washanyam. Verse 18. The children of Jerah and 112. 19. The children of Asham 220 and 3. Verse 20. The children of Gabal 90 and 5. Verse 21. The children of Bethlehem and 120 and 3. The men of Netophath 50 and 6. The men of Anathoth and 120 and 8. 24 is the last verse, right?
Oh,
The
God.
children of Asmaveth 40 and 2. And later on, he's gonna give us all these names, right? All these children. Later on, you're gonna see why this is so crucial. And this is very important today. This is why in the ISUPK today, we ask you, if you're from the Dominican Republic, we're gonna ask you, who's your father? We gotta make sure you're not a descendant of the Spaniards. You got to make sure. We got to know. Do you know where your great grandfather is from? Do you have the birth certificate? Like where does your family say they from? Are you a native Dominican or are you a descendant of the people who conquered the Dominicans? Right? If you're a so-called Haitian, we need to know your pedigree because guess what? We have Frenchmen in Haiti right now. We got Arabs in Haiti right now, born Haitian citizens. But guess what? They're not Haitian. We got Dominicans that are born Dominican in Dominican Republic. They are not Dominican. Same in Puerto Rico, same in Colombia and Mexico. So we need to know who the hell you are. So who's your father again? Did your father go into captivity under Nebuchadnezzar? We need to know. And later on towards the chapter, we're gonna see why this is crucial. Right?
Sure.
We're picking it up at verse 25 in the Hebrew. Banya Kwara Yath I Rayum Kapayara Waba Araf Shabai Ma'awaf Wa'ara Ba'ayam Washalasha 26 Banya Harama Waga Ba'ai Shasha Ma'awaf Aisharium Wa Akkad 27 Anashia Ma Kamas Ma'aha Aisharium Washanyam 28 Anashia Bayath Allah Al Salakia Al Wahaya Ma'athium Aisharium Washalasha 29 Banya Nabawa Kamashayam Washanyam 30 Banya Magabayash Ma'aha Kamashyam Washasha 31 Banya Ayalkan Ayalam Akal Alap Ma'athium Kamashyam Wa'ara Ba'ai. Last verse. Okay. Okay, in the English, 26, we in verse 26. The children of Ramah and Gabah, 620 verse 27. The men of Michmas, 122. The children of Bethel in Ai, 223. The children of Nebo, 52. The children of Magbish, 156. I guess this brother only had maybe one rib. Only had the children of Magbish in Nebo, 52. Everybody got 100, thousands. But just got 52. Small house.
That's all you do, it's locked there, you know what I mean?
Probably only had just two ribs.
Yeah.
The other brothers got like 10.
Yeah. That was the type of brother you was.
The other brothers probably got like 10, 12, 20 ribs. Got thousands of children and great kids running around from all these ribs. Verse 31, the children of the other Elam, 1,252. Just that would be me right there. It's 52 kids. That's it. It's gonna be 2 or 3 ribs and I'm the one. Not like Karatazar. He need 7.
Both for 20s.
He need to prophesy, Isaiah 4 and 1. 7 women. He said 20. So like you multiply that by 3. Verse 32, the children of Harim, 320. 33, the children of Lod, Hadid, and Onan, 725. 34 is the last verse? I started at 26. 31.
31, slot.
Yeah. Keep me on tab. Verse 32 in the Hebrew. And let me know what set we on as well, all right?
Actually, you just did 26 to 31, correct, sir?
Correct.
All right, this is set 6.
I'm starting?
No, you just finished, you read it in English, 25 to 31.
Yeah, I just did that. So
All right,
now I'm starting at 32 in the Hebrew.
All right, so the 32, that's set 7.
That says 7.
Oh.
We in Ezra, the 2nd chapter, verse 32 in the Hebrew. Banya, Karam, Shalasha, Ma'awath, Wa'ai, Shariam, 33. Banya, Lad, Kadayad, Wanawa, Shanai, Ma'awath, Ai, Shariam, Waka, Masha, 34. Banya, Yara, Kawa, Shalasha, Ma'awath, Araba'ayam, Waka, Masha, 35. Banya, Sanaa, Shalashaf, Alapium, Washasha, Ma'awath, Washa, 36. Hakahanyam, Banya, Yada'aya, Labayaf, Ya Shawai, Thashai, Ma'awath, Shaba'ayam, Wa Shalasha, 37. Banya, Amar, Allah, Kamashyam, Washanyam, 38. Banya,
Last verse.
Pasha, Kawa, Allah, Ma'athyam, Araba'ayam, Washa Ba'ai. All right, 33? 33, right? The children of Lad, Hadid, and Ono, 725. The children of Jericho, 345.
32.
Starting at 32, and I'll finish where?
38.
38. The children of Harim, 320. Children of Lod, Hadid, and Ono, 725. The children of Jericho, 345. 35. The children of Sanaa, 3,630. 36. The priests, the children of Jedaiah of the house of Jeshua, 973. 37. The children of Emer, 1,052. 38. The children of Pashur, 1,247. All right, this will conclude the chapters and verses for today's Sabbath service. Next week, we're picking it up at Ezra chapter 2. All right, let's have this on the record. Ezra chapter 2. We're picking it up at verse 39. 2 and 39. All right. With that, imagine here, Shapar, it's on. Yayan. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. Again. Israel, Majah, which means to stand. We're going to recite the prayers in the Hebrew and the English, starting with the Lord's Prayer. Saw upon Yahakwadam, which means turn and face the east. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakovka, Taba'ah, Watazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natananawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakinawa, Kawabwafinawa, Kasalakinawa, Kawabwafinawa, Wala'a, Haba Yainawa, Banasaya 1, above, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapara, La'adalamyam, Aman, in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Baba Kasha, Natan Lanawa, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Ka'amakala, Waka'amarawa, Hakak, La Ta'ah, Hamatazarayam, Hakak, La Hakwayam, Hamathiam, Hakak, Arakara, Hatama'ala, La Garashan, La Hashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman, in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahohoyam, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Izoya, Izoya Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yatan, Amawat, Wagonka, Al-Yanawam, Shamoka, Hanala'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamor, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamoka, Yahweh, Bazalka, Ayad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makor Rai, Yashamar, After Pascha, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaafka, Wabawaka, Ma'aita, Wa'ait I will love. In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He would not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, even forevermore. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Takarash, Al-Tashakwat, Kayahana, Awiyabika, Yahama Yawan, Wamashada Yaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Ya'ira Yamwa, Sawad, Wayata Ya'aita Zawad, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Manakakida, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Aiwa, Kaya, Nawa'aita Zawad, La, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Baraf, Yakawafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashamalayam, Mawaba, Wahagoya, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashaf, Ayeshabi, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zawawa, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadiam, Kasaya Sara'a, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabia, Banakal, by Wayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan the Ara, Ba'ayan the Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Ka'aira, Wakazaaba, Wakazabak, Wakazamanai, Kanasayakamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nayara Shah, Lanawa, Af, Naawaf, Alhayam, Alhaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Tabaira Yaira, Wakalaaba, Talaha, Haryo, Kantawadama, Basa Iraka, Wabasa Wapafka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Hanyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaawa, Aya'ad, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Hayat, Athla, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Ayawan, Akar Ha'arataza. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre,
damsels of Tyre.
And saw also a joint with them.
So also joined.
They are hoping the children of Lot.
They are opening up children a lot.
Do unto them
Do unto them
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as to the Midianites,
as to Sarah, as to Jabez, at the brook of Kisa, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zahab. Yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burning for wood, and as the flame set up the mountains on fire. So persecute them without tempest, and make them afraid without storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that man may know that now, whose name alone is Yahweh, or the Most High, over all the earth. Blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Allah Hayam. Matazab Ya'ah. Alawab Yahana. Ha Alawab Yam. Ha Saranyam. Ha Patazayanyam. Ha Kayayanyam. Wa Ha Aquathian. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Tawada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you. So be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wayasharala, Wahabayaf, Saparium, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magan, Hagan, Yasharala, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel, and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect Israel. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Isupk curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, our prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into that sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Kamikaze, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, Nassau Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of our people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro to the earth, and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens
that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake that thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. So, which means to turn. Give one courtesy salute. Salute. I'll give one courtesy salute. You could end it up to the salute.
Okay.
Amajam Shabbat. Amajam Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yachmata. Dismiss.